Something major is stirring in the AI world, and this time, it comes from an unexpected source, Apple. Just ahead of their worldwide developer conference, Apple released a research paper with a provocative title, The Illusion of Thinking, Understanding the Strengths and Limitations of Reasoning Models via the Lens of Problem Complexity. That's got both experts and enthusiasts reeling. The core claim? Today's most advanced reasoning AIs, the ones powering conversations about the future of intelligence, might not be reasoning at all. Apple's paper targeted the so-called frontier models. OpenAI's O3, Anthropic's Claude, DeepSeek R1, and Google's latest thinking machines, pitting them against a series of custom-designed puzzle games. Instead of traditional benchmarks like math problems or programming tasks, Apple used a classic brain teaser, the Tower of Hanoi. This puzzle, simple in concept but fiendishly complex as it scales, allowed Apple to precisely control and measure the difficulty level, ranging from single-disk to multi-disk variants that require thousands of moves to solve. The study found 3 distinct performance zones. At low complexity, standard models, ones not specifically designed for reasoning, did better than their more elaborate counterparts. As complexity increased to a sweet spot, reasoning models pulled ahead, flexing their advanced capabilities. But at the highest complexity, all models, no matter how sophisticated, collapsed, with their performance dropping to nearly zero. Extra time and computing power did nothing to help. The models simply gave up. Even more surprising was their behavior as the puzzles became harder. You might expect a reasoning model to work longer and harder as problems became more complex. In reality, the models expended less effort, seeming to recognize impossible odds and retreating rather than attempting brute force solutions. Even when Apple handed them the exact algorithms for solving the puzzles, the models still failed at high complexity. The implication? These AIs aren't reasoning as humans do. They're recognizing patterns and templates. When faced with something entirely new or too unwieldy, they're lost. Apple's findings quickly became the center of fierce debate. Critics on social media argued that Apple had misrepresented the AI's limitations by not accounting for technical constraints like token limits, the amount of text these models can output at once. For ultra-complex puzzles, the sheer length of the solution would exceed these hard stops, making failure inevitable, not because the AI couldn't reason, but because it couldn't fit its answer in the allotted space. Others pointed out that Apple's measure of difficulty, the length of a puzzle solution, doesn't necessarily reflect true cognitive challenge. Tower of Hanoi, though it requires many moves, follows a simple recursive rule with no real choices, whereas puzzles like river crossing demand genuine foresight and planning despite their shorter solutions. Further, some observers, like noted critic Gary Marcus, saw Apple's results as confirmation of long-standing concerns. Marcus argues that modern neural networks, despite massive data and computational muscle, still falter at systematic generalization, floundering outside their training set or when forced to reason abstractly. He highlighted that humans also struggle with highly complex or deceptive puzzles, but stresses that true intelligence should marry human flexibility with machine accuracy, something not achieved by current models that, for all their linguistic fluency, continue to hallucinate facts and make elementary logical errors. In this context, Apple's paper isn't just an academic exercise, it's a strategic statement. While competitors race to dazzle with ever larger, smarter AIs, Apple emphasizes reliability and practicality, key aspects of their brand. This approach may seem convenient, given Apple's struggles to ship advanced AI features like an improved Siri, but it's also a call for honesty about what AI can and cannot do right now. Interestingly, this isn't Apple's first foray into AI skepticism. Their 2024 paper, GSN Symbolic, demonstrated similar limits, showing that with only slight changes, an irrelevant sentence or swapped numbers, top AI models suffered dramatic drops in accuracy. Again, the conclusion was clear. Beneath the surface, these models are sophisticated pattern matchers, not true reasoners. The paper sparked its own wave of debates, with claims that humans would similarly be tripped up by subtle distractions. Yet the pattern is unmistakable. Apple is positioning itself as a scientific counterweight to the overheated marketing narratives dominating the AI landscape. So where does this leave the field? First, Apple's challenge is forcing much-needed introspection and perhaps a pivot toward more hybrid approaches, such as the neurosymbolic AI advocated by Gary Marcus. Instead of scaling up current deep learning models, this school of thought argues for combining statistical pattern recognition with explicit rules and logical reasoning. Even prominent researchers like Yann LeCun advise young AI scientists to look beyond large language models to the next generation of systems that can understand the physical world, maintain persistent memory, truly reason, and plan ahead. In the end, Apple's reality check serves as a reminder. Today's AIs are powerful, but far from the human-level reasoners some headlines suggest. Understanding their limitations is not defeatism, but a foundation for meaningful progress. The conversation sparked by Apple's research may help the entire industry move beyond illusions, setting the stage for smarter, more reliable AI in the years ahead.